Hello, this is Commander Bargains, and today we're going to be looking at commons and uncommons from the Commander Legends set. The first card we're going to be looking at today is Benevolent Blessing. Now this is an enchantment aura for 2. It has flash, enchant creature. As Benevolent Blessing enters the battlefield, choose a color. Enchanted creature has protection from the chosen color. Now this effect does not remove auras and equipment you control that are attached to it. So it's basically saving other auras and artifacts that would normally be taken off if you were to give a creature protection. Now this protection is going to keep your commander or any other important creature in your deck safe, but only from a single color. But still, for 2, it's a great resource. Now this next little guy coming in here at 1 red and 1 generic to cast is a 1/1 creature that has, whenever a commander you control deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent. Now this can be used as a commander partner, but I think it's a great card to put in any type of Voltron deck. Some ones specifically are Feather the Redeemed, Zergo Helm Smasher, and Ruhan. So it's basically just going to take damage that you're sending at one of your opponent's faces and send it at all of them. So it's a great way to take the table down all at the same time. If you get a couple good swings in, though, people may realize that they don't want to die. But it only costs you 2 mana, so it's a pretty cheap way to even finish off a table. The next addition to the list of commons and uncommons from this new set that we're going to be looking at today is Nadir's Nightblade. Now this is a elf warrior that costs a black and 2 generic. The creature reads, whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Now this is common to the Cutthroat card that already does this, that we're going to be using in Aristocrat decks. But this one is unique because it says a token you control. So you can also combo this with any other token that you can create, such as artifact tokens, like rocks from the new Togo Goblin Weaponsmith, and just classic treasure tokens. Now this card is where I really start coming alive. I had to mention all those other ones just because they're good cards, but now I can mention cards that are fun. Now this Frenzied Saddle Brute, a funny card. Now he is a little expensive. You get a 5/4 haste, that's what red does, but it reads, all creatures can attack your opponents and planeswalkers your opponents control as though those creatures have haste. Now it's only attacking that they can use the haste. So if they play some mana dorks, that's not going to be able to give them extra mana. This is only going to let them attack each other. Now this makes me think of the Vow cycle of cards that they also reprinted in this set, which basically pump up your opponent's creatures, but they also can't attack you. It's a great way to win games in budget decks, just because your opponents have no choice but to attack each other. It works really well if your play group has lots of, battle cruiser decks where everyone's just slamming down big creatures. You can just guarantee that damage is going anywhere but yourself. Lots of fun to play with. Now this is another extremely fun card if it works. It's called Explosion of Riches. It costs 6. Yeah, it's expensive, but we're playing to have fun, right? It's a sorcery that says, draw a card, then each other player may draw a card. Whenever a card is drawn this way, Explosion of Riches deals 5 damage to target opponent chosen at random from among your opponents. So basically, you could draw a card, and if no one else chooses to, you just paid 6 to draw a card. That sucks. Worst case. But best case, 3 of your opponents also choose to draw cards, and then 15 damage gets thrown around the table at your opponents. It can't come at you, so you're good. So just a really fun way. You can knock someone out of the game. They can each take 5 equally. It's just, you play with the gods of chaos, and that's what makes this card fun. But commanders that can make this happen a bit easier, to get around that 6, stuff like Golos, if it's one of the exiled cards. Same with the Tali or Jorah, if you just put some time counters on it and suspend it. To make it a bit more effective, it could be in a Torbrand deck, so it's doing 7 damage each instead of the 5. Or Vile Smasher, if that's the first card you cast, because then it's doing the 6 damage. Now there's some new Cascade cards that have came out with this set that can really help you in some decks where you're not gonna be able to cast as much as you should be. So the first two are stamped on these creatures, you know, green doing what green does, red doing what red does, but then being able to cascade for another card. These really are only effective in decks that maybe like Animar, where you can get these creatures out for a fair price. Oh, sorry, didn't know I used it in there. But they also stamp it onto some sorcery and instant cards. You know, red clearing the board, blue countering a spell, and green destroying an artifact or enchantment. Kind of obviously fitting in those slots very well with the color pie. But then you get another card, you know, so it could be you're getting your Soul Ring or something, but it could also turn over something, you know, another large creature that's going to hit that board, bring out some Eldrazi or something. So it's kind of going back to, you know, the chaos, you know, stuff's happening and it's not really expected or unexpected, but it could really help you pull ahead in the game, being able to cast 2 spells for the cost of 1. Thank you for tuning in today, everybody. This was a really fun video to make. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to go follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Catch you next time.